All right, guys, Thursday, April 28th. We've got another interval one. We've got another pacing session, okay? So what we're looking for, again, are consistent intervals or consistent reps for these 2-minute iterations. This one, anywhere from 7 to 10 rounds of 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. In that 2-minute interval, you'll do 20 cals on the rower, plus max reps of GHD sit-ups. When the 2-minute mark hits, you'll rest a minute, do it again. If you feel fine with 7 rounds, stop there. If you feel like you're able to do 10 rounds, go for it, okay? With the 20 cal row, we can even dial that back. And if we don't have a GHD, we can do a complex of a V up to tuck up. I'll demonstrate that in a few seconds, okay? So what we're gonna do, what you'll need is a rower and a GHD if you have one, or a nice soft place for you can do your V up or your sit-up complex. First thing we're gonna do to warm ourselves up is hop on the rower, and we're going to work on some form. So it's just gonna be chest row, and we're gonna go for meters here. So I'm changing my units from cals to meters. And the first thing we're going to do is make sure we're sitting on the rower just right. So a lot of times I'll see athletes kind of in this tucked position here with too high of a butt on there, instead of really making sure that your sit bones are on there. So making sure that you're in this upright torso position with a vertical position instead of letting your hips round or your butt round down on there. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to keep those legs extended, and we're going to do 150 meters of just arms, okay? So I won't be able to demonstrate this because the rower will be too loud and you won't be able to hear me, but what I'm concentrating on, I'll show you in a second, is making sure I hit in the same position each and every time, keeping that chain at a straight position, not letting it go up or down too far, and I kind of use the screws to make sure it stays in between those, okay? So it's just going to be arms for 150 meters. Think about engaging those lats, getting tension each and every pull. We'll do that for 150 meters. The next thing that we'll do is 200 meters of arms and hips, okay? So now you're gonna involve the hips. So I'm going to use my hips and then pull the rest of the way with my arms. So again, leaning forward slightly, leaning back. Think about 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock on a analog clock. Doing that for 200 meters. The last thing we'll do is going to be 250 meters of perfect technique here, okay? So I'm trying to get my shins about vertical here, driving through my legs, not letting my hips go back forward as my legs extend, opening up my hips, and then finishing with my arms. So great opportunity to work on awesome form, making sure that you drive through those legs and hips to create most of the power for this row. From here, we'll hop off the rower, get some stretching in or some drills to work on some upper body mobility, activate that core a little bit and then get going. All right. So I've got some 2.5 pound plates. You can use 5s or you can just use your body weight for these next couple of drills, okay? First thing we do before we get to that is some single leg glute bridges. So I'm gonna lie flat on my back, bring my heels kind of close to my butt, and from here, I'm gonna keep one leg up in the air. My hands can go down to the ground if I'd like, and I'm gonna drive up and then back down. What I'm looking for here is driving my hips all the way through, squeezing my glutes, and then back down. And we're gonna do 10 per side of some single leg glute bridges. So don't do some half rep where your hips are still not fully extended or open. I'm really gonna try to extend, squeeze my butt, and make sure that I drive my hips up to the sky as far as possible. The next thing that we're gonna do are some Y's and W's, or actually cat-cows, sorry. So with my cat-cows, I'm just going for range of motion here, sinking those hips down, looking up, dropping that chin towards your chest, and then back up again. For 10 reps. The next thing we're going to do are Y's and W's. W's are first. So I'm going to be in this athletic position, kind of like if you had your knees on your elbows, keeping that flat back. And from here, I'm going to bring my elbows up nice and high, bring my hands towards my head, bring my hands back down, and relax. In this, I'm thinking about pulling my shoulder blades back and down and working on internal, external rotation of my shoulders. If you're doing this correctly, you can see how 2.5 pounds or just your hands would be more than enough. So we'll do 10 reps of that. The next one we'll do are Y's. So I'm just going to create a Y with my arm. Again, pulling my shoulder blades back and down, starting off in that athletic position or hang position almost. And from here, my thumbs are facing towards the sky. And I'm bringing my hands up, keeping those arms straight to create that Y. We'll do 10 reps of that. From there, we're going to come back down to the ground and find that hollow position. We're going to hang out there for 30 seconds. So again, maintain that low back in contact with the ground. Try to get the shoulders off the deck. Stay nice and tight and engaged. And hang out there for 30 full seconds, okay? So before, what you'll do is do that whole set one more time, 10 single leg glute bridges per side, 10 more cat-cows, 10 more Y's and W's, and another 30-second hold. Since I'm down on the ground already, I'm going to show you what that V up to tuck up complex is, and each rep of one V up and one tuck up will count as one rep, okay? Sorry, I was just reading what row completed in 1 minute means. Got it. All right, so your V up to tuck up complex. You're gonna start off on the ground, and I'm gonna keep my arms and legs straight. I'm going to touch my toes. Immediately go into this tuck up, touching those heels, and then back up, touch those toes. So do one V up and one tuck up, and that all counts as one rep. If those V-ups become too challenging, you just count as many tuck-ups as you can do, okay? So, point of reference before we get going, your 20 cal row or maybe even 15 cal row should take you no longer than a minute, and then you should be able to get right into those max reps of GHD setups, taking you with transition about 45 seconds of actual work there, okay? Resting 1 minute, logging your scores for how many reps you're able to do for each interval, and try to keep a count too of when you're off of that rower for each and every round, and try to keep that consistent as well. Let me know how things go, guys. Comment below. Enjoy.